Hey Gemini, it's your girl Jay, the High Priestess, back at it again with the general tarot reading for me, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Ooh, there you are, already showing up. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Taurus season 2022. The Magician being out, that's Mercury. That's Mercury. That's you. What do you need to develop? Maybe needing to reconnect with why you're doing what you're doing. Checking in with your motivations and intentions. Be sure to check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising. Patreon gets everything first. Patreon.com/justjeverything. Hydrate. For daily content, check out my Instagram, justj_everything, TikTok at justjeverything, and then for other dope shit that I do, my website, justjeverything.com. Now, as of the 19th of April, Taurus has the sun, and late on the 19th. And so there is this highlight on your possessions, on your values, on what is mine, on your money, comfort, security, stability, your eating habits, your habits in general, the way that you take care of your body. I also just heard breath work, being that you guys rule the lungs. That would be a great thing for you to dive deeper into, is to studying like what kind of breath work. There's like primal breath work, breath of fire, this kind of, do your homework, fall down the rabbit hole of breath work and see where it leads you. Go to what you're drawn towards. I just saw the Lovers kind of flash at me. So all your cards are already talking. You already showing up strong, eh? In Taurus season. Probably because Mercury is doing its mercurial thing where it's shifting. There is a retrograde coming. Your ruler, Mercury's been in Taurus since April 10th. And you've already started to reassess, rethink things, especially in regards to money, like life and, and work-life balance. On the 29th of April, Mercury goes into Gemini, where it is in rulership. So that's probably why the Magician, the Lovers just flashed at me. It's like you're coming into your fullness. But wait. So your mind feels like your own again and all. And there is this boost in desire to socialize and intellectualize and philosophize. Pick apart things, overanalyze, restructure. There's going to be all of that. So start that. Go with that flow. However that wave of productivity or that wave of coming back into yourself, the realignment of self, I just saw like a Venn diagram come together. And so I don't know what that means for some of you. Some of you are weighing pros and cons or having to make decisions, and you don't need to make the decision until you feel like fully aligned in the fullness of you. I feel like y'all are making pro and cons lists over shit you wouldn't normally tolerate. You don't need to be making, you wouldn't normally be like stuck in this indecision. And that is because Mercury is going to be retrograding in your sign, babe. So that's why I'm just like, initiate the ideas and the stability and whatever can initiate the things that are going to yield long-term results. I don't mean, I would really like, if you're going to launch something, I feel like do it before the retrograde. And that's on May 10th. On April 30th, though, we have the new moon partial solar eclipse in Taurus, and the direction in life is going to shift. Things suddenly coming in, things suddenly going out. On May 10th, then, we have Mercury Mercury retrogrades in Gemini, and it's going to go back into Taurus it's going to retrograde back into Taurus in your season, Gemini. So there will be like do-overs, restarts, possibly, I just heard second chances. Some of you are going to maybe need to decide whether you want to give someone a second chance. I feel like there may be some upsetting situation that someone comes back and you want to give them a second chance. If there's something about addiction though, or like they're in recovery or like new in their recovery, no. That's not for everybody, but you'll know what I mean. I do feel like it's a time to really just enjoy the pace of Taurus season. Slow down, especially when the retrograde starts. Slow down and like no big sudden moves. Make no sudden moves. Make no sudden moves. Who sings that? I think it's like Julia Stiles or Sanchez or something. I don't know. I love that song. Anyway, it's called No Sudden Moves, if you're interested. I know sometimes, I feel like that's a song for y'all. No sudden moves, and the girl has like a wreath of like red flowers around her head. It's like it's a white girl. And she's got anyway. Now I feel like I gotta check the video because Virgo has burned me so many times. I hate filming at this angle, but we need to get to the fullness of the set. But I should be changing up soon. Anyway, on May 15th or 16th, depending on your time zone and whatnot, there will be the full moon total lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And this is some emotional wound that's tampered with your mind or is eating away at your mind. I feel like it heals in some way, or you access a new level of healing in this. It can really help you say goodbye to a lot of the emotional gunk from like the last 6 months. All right, so Gemini, empty your lungs. Take a deep breath when you're ready. Relax, settle in, get comfortable. Because we are reaching out to Mother God, Father God, Mother Earth, asking for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Taurus season 2022. I feel like some of y'all, there's something about, I just got this thing, like some of y'all are scared to be yourself in some way because it may like, you may lose likes. Some of y'all are maybe scared to like show your partner on your social media, or I say a lot of you, but flip it. Some of y'all may be afraid to share your political beliefs with people or on your social media or something like that, or your spiritual beliefs. There could just be something that's shifting there, and you may need to like figure out like who's paying your bills. Like, why do you know, what's at the root of that? What's at the root of you holding yourself back in any kind of way, making sure that you're not holding yourself back in any kind of way, especially because of like, what will they think? That could be a thing. And I want to also really just let myself take the time to see what Spirit has to say. Let things flow. Some of you need to check your eyes, get your prescriptions updated on your lenses. Some of you are squinting and you haven't even connected the dots that like you need glasses or you need to update your prescription. Eight of Swords reverse funny because they have a blindfold on, and I was just like, there's something with the eyes. Maybe you're seeing things differently. I feel like you're finally... It's interesting because this feels like, yeah, King of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I feel like you're way more masterful in your mind than you have been, especially when Mercury goes into goes into Gemini and comes into your sign on April 29th. Mercury will be going into Gemini, and this is Mercury in Gemini. I love how this works. The King of Swords, the way I learned it according to my shit, that's not everybody else's. Anyway. Mercury's going into Gemini. It's going to make you way more masterful with your mind. It will help you like break free. I feel like there's this period of like not letting your mind eat you alive with like over analyzing and like needing everything to make sense, and like you break out of your head, you break away from the self-limiting beliefs. I just feel like there's freedom in the mind, a new cycle in the mind, finally breaking out of an old cycle of thought process or ways that you used to speak, a lot of negative self-talk, a lot of negative internal self-talk. There could just be also someone else with Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements that's really had you bound up. Someone or you yourself just not believing in yourself enough to move forward. I feel like, to break out of a cycle or a situation that you didn't want to be in anymore, or that you knew wasn't good for you anymore. Some of you are really like breaking out of a place of weakness, and you're understanding that by way of using your mind and coupling that with your spirit, there is strength that was cultivated in that period of like you being bound up in the mind, bound up with insecurity, bound up with fear, bound up with anxiety. I feel like it's you really were so harsh on yourself that I feel like you cultivated some sort of newfound strength in the realm of your mind, and therefore in the realm of your emotions and how you're able to empathize and emote with other people, because you guys, you and Virgo are like highest on the fucking serial killer list astrologically, and that has a lot to do with like empathy. And you guys, I feel like, can be very empathetic. Usually it's birthed out of trauma, but it can go either way with y'all. It's like the trauma can take you to sociopath and you don't feel shit. Or it can take you to, being hyper empathetic and probably to the point, there are extremes. There's a spectrum. But I feel like there is a certain strength that's being cultivated, and you breaking free out of your mind is going to help you get more deeply connected to your body. I feel like in Taurus season, your physical energy will be ramping up. Your willpower will be ramping up. Your sexual energy will be ramping up. Your ability to meditate is going to come back. Your ability to be still. I feel like giving yourself, for some of you have to force yourself, but some of you it's easier because you've been doing the work. But it's important to like almost force yourself, if you have to really get into a routine where you give yourself a little bit of silence every day. You guys sometimes gonna have like way too much going on all the time, like always music playing, always the TV going, always people over, always texting someone, always texting 3 people, someone always calling you, emails always going on. It's just like, I feel like your mind needs a break, and if you don't give your mind a break, it's gonna take one. Real talk. So take heed to what I'm saying, because it's important to give yourself a break. And I feel like a lot of you have already that you've already done that part, but shout out to the people who haven't. And that's who this message is for, is like, hey, let's make sure that they know it's important to strive for mental freedom, for a new chapter in how you think, how you feel, how you talk, how you express yourself. Also, how you communicate with the divine. I feel like there's a purge, spring cleaning needs to happen. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising for Taurus season 2022. Some of you may be really locked up in your mind about someone with Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or Leo placements. Some of you may be having some painful realizations or things coming to light about your father, or maybe wishing your father was a certain way, or maybe you're remembering the softer side of your father, or a father figure. It doesn't have to be your biological father, but there may be someone who's like coming in with very paternal or warm energy. Healing by way of a cat. Maybe some of you have this really strong bond with a cat, and there's like divine messages or like really happy experiences that you have with your cat or with a cat, or some of you are thinking about getting a cat. Ace of Swords. Yeah, I'm saying there is some of you, like, I feel like you can like Dr. Dolittle it and like almost talk to animals, or you get messages from animals, and that's not all of them. I feel like some of them you can read, some of them you can just like pick up on body language in a different way. You're emotionally intelligent like that, Gemini, and it's important for you to listen to all the ideas that are coming in. The Ace of Swords says this is exactly what's happening. 8 of Swords reversed, and then the Ace of Swords. So that's the 9 of Swords, and that is like the end of that dark night of the soul. That's an end of a chapter in the realm of the mind. And you've got to get out of this position in order to grab this new Ace of Swords. In order for you to grab this new mindset, this mental update, in order for you to get your crown back. Interesting, she just got this crown of flowers like on the cover of the song that I was just talking about. And here's they've just got this crown of flowers that turns into a crown, the divine actually giving you a golden crown. So it looks like start dressing the fucking part. That's for some of you. Some of you is just like you're downplaying how you want to show up in the world. Some of you, it's like, okay, for instance, it's like you want to be, let's say, like a tarot reader or a mystic or something of that nature, but you're still wearing like button-ups and like you don't feel like yourself, or you're it's time for you to start dressing how you, or dressing for the part that you want, dressing for the position that you want, dressing for the life that you want. Some of you, like, you are done wearing like corporate wear, or you want to wear more flowy sort of things too. Both of them are wearing gown like things. So there could be a shift in the aesthetic, but I do feel like there is something about start treating yourself, treating yourself and behaving like that version of you that has made it in your head. There is this, and it's not fake it till you make it. It feels very like, start embodying that, because that's already you. That version of you already exists on this time, on a timeline that you have the ability to merge with. It's just like a matter of like, you can't get to the, you can't fully merge on until you've ramped up enough speed, And I feel like that's where you're at now, getting out of your own way, getting out of maybe some controlling situation, or a situation where someone was really influencing your thoughts, or negatively talking about you, or talking about people you love negatively, just someone who maybe has spoken negatively or impacted you. Like their energy was maybe draining or blah. I feel like there is, the Ace of Swords says there's this powerful conversation, this upgrade of the mind, this sword of truth that is up to you to learn how to wield. So there may be some cuts that are coming in, but this could be big time inspiration. And I feel like it's really important for you to get outside and be physically active. This could be an influx of vitality, like way more energy coming in, being able to go to the gym or whatever, or being able to run, or come up with some sort of, maybe even if it's just walking around the block. You've got to get physically active, and new ideas are going to come in. Dots are going to connect. Aha moments are going to really like, oh my gosh, the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups. Yeah, you getting into your body, you getting out of your head. Looks like a lot of offers coming in, and that's what Taurus is bringing in. Taurus got the Ace of Cups. And so again, the Ace of Cups coming out, where in the second reading, where there's just stuff coming in, and we as a collective, because we are all the signs, we can't receive in this position if we keep ourselves restricted, if we keep playing small. And that's what Aries season was for, baby. Aries season was for you to start to figure out who am I and how am I showing up in my life? Am I showing up like the page doing the bidding of the knights? Am I showing up like the knights doing the bidding of the kings? Or am I showing up like the motherfucking emperor, the Aries card? And am I showing up like the emperor, collecting kings? You know what I mean? There's levels to it. And that's just this 3D matrix that we live in. But I feel like if you're playing yourself or have been playing yourself small, you won't feel strong enough. You haven't built up the muscle. You haven't built up the confidence, the ego, the strength. Ego, you know, there are healthy, very healthy expressions of your ego. You need your ego. It ain't going nowhere. You got to learn how to fucking work with it and how to like make it work for you. And that comes by way of compassionately communicating with yourself in silence. It's time to talk to your mind, talk back to your thoughts. The more masterful you are with your thoughts, the more masterful you'll be with your words. And since words are spells, and since life and death are in the power of the tongue, it's time for you to start being very, very discerning about what you're speaking into your situation, what you're speaking into your life, what you're speaking into your experience. All right, final card, final message for Gemini. The aces are out. And the aces require homework. Everybody's like, oh, the ace. The aces mean, oh, okay, well, I got to look at what I'm holding on to. The aces require release. Yes, and I'm not telling you not to be excited about the stuff that's coming in. I'm telling you to get ready for it so that you don't squander these opportunities, so that whenever this stuff comes in, you're actually like, yup, actually, been sitting here waiting, ready, purging, clean. Remember I just said clearing out, spring cleaning? There is something about getting your shit organized. Getting your shit organized so that the flow of your home, the flow of your life can actually like flow properly. Some of you have been like struggling with creative energy, struggling in your mind in some sort of way, and it's like you need to organize your shit. That's really what's coming through. And not being all like stubborn or, you know, egotistical about it or prideful about it. There's just some stuff that maybe doesn't need to be held on to anymore. And the Ace of Swords is coming out first because the divine wants you to be upgraded in the mind, wants you to understand that you deserve the upgrade that's coming in, the flower crown to the real deal crown, maybe. Like that upgrade, it has to happen in the realm of your mind. It has to happen in the realm of like your body. You really have to like feel that worthiness and that's what the divine wants for you before this new love, new level in creativity, whatever however this manifests. And definitely is going to be a juicy plunge. So patreon.com/justjeverything. So when it comes in, when this new opportunity to emote, to connect, to exchange comes in, you're not operating from that old version of yourself anymore. And in Taurus season, which is the season of I have, Taurus is a sign of I have. And the divine is like, hey, I'm trying to get you like to stop being comfortable with like the generic brand. Ooh, and then the star just fell out. Because some stuff that you really, really want is coming in. And I feel like there's some false starts with that retrograde. With Mercury going into Gemini, you may come out really feeling really, really invincible. Or you may come and start to slowly notice, hey, there's some behaviors and some stuff I need to like evaluate within myself and within other people and within those around me. I feel like there's some grand lessons to be learned from a masculine energy, a father energy, baby daddy, father-in-law, something of that nature. There's like, I just heard dream come true. Some of you, there's like a wish come true. But ultimately what I feel like is happening is that some of you, there's this new project or creativity or self-love or healing or faith or hope, something you've been hoping for. Maybe someone with Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or Aquarius placements. Maybe you finally get a trip to the water or planning some trip to the water. A new update in friends and a new social group. Maybe some of you have been really wishing for community in some sort of way. And I feel like that stuff starts to come in, but for you to have the new quality friends, the new quality lover, the new quality project or client, whatever it is, for you to get that new, you got to get rid of that old you. The old you that was, and cutting ties with that. Because this is not the move. We can't get, shit is not going to be accomplished in that stance. And I do feel like some of you have been dealing with a lot of opposition. You've been having to explain yourself a lot, having to really, wow, bottom of the deck, 7 of Wands, Hierophant, and the 10 of Cups. The Hierophant showed up in Taurus as well. And so I do feel like some of you are defending your marriage, defending the college you want to go to, or defending what you want to study, defending your religion, defending your spirituality or your belief system. And I feel like because you're breaking free, you're coming into your own moral compass, being guided by your own moral compass, and is putting you in a position of really redefining happiness and success and love. Maybe some of you are, there could be people who are opposing you standing up for yourself in some sort of way. And I feel like these new ideas, all of this influx of goodness that's coming in is meant to initiate something, a profound change. But I feel like be careful with the sudden moves thing. Allow yourself to receive, but you don't need to be running around chasing everything. I feel like there is something about like hang tight. Hang tight and stand up for what's right. Because some of you, there's just a lot of opposition, and that opposition may be strictly internal. You just may be really talking yourself out of, yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like for some of you, I mean, for some of you, it could be external and other people like family, friends, really being combative with you. But I feel like you have gained high ground. Or by the end of this season, you really gain a higher ground, emotionally, spiritually, physically, sexually, maybe. And I feel like you can get your point across. You can really express yourself in a different way. And it has a lot to do with your willingness to see, to really break out of this. This is a beautiful, beautiful reading, Gemini. And the center of the reading being the Ace of Swords, this has so much to do with receptivity. You've got to be mentally receptive. Stop clogging up or creating interference in your receiver. I love you. Let's get into it. For the full version of the video, go to Patreon.